A couple of days ago, I posted a video where I talked about Batwoman, Ruby Rose, leaving the series after just one season. One season, and she left the series. A cash cow for her. You have to assume she's probably making more money from Batwoman than she was from, Orange is the New Black, or a supporting role in John Wick 2. And yet, she left it. She was gone. But what was really strange about that is that there's a little thing in the industry called contracts. And contracts mean that even though you want to leave, we can make you stay. And you know what? That's why I believed that this was more than just Ruby Rose deciding that she wanted to leave. And I said it in that video. I said that maybe Warner Brothers wanted her out just as much as she wanted out. And as we know, the way that these studios work, they let out little bits of information after the fact to kind of clear up the story, as it were, and they do it through their show media sites. Well, looks like I told you so. Here it is, why Batwoman star Ruby Rose left the CW series, and I want to give a shout out to a gentleman. I'm going to link his channel down below so you guys could check it out, because I was actually it wasn't even on my radar anymore. I had completely just said, fuck Batwoman, who cares? And besides tweeting to Sonya Deville from WWE, who I said I would like to see as Batwoman. I think she has the physicality for it. She was a former MMA star. I put my vote for her. And was she an MMA star? Well, she was an MMA fighter. And she is definitely a WWE star with the physicality that it takes to make the role her own. I wrote on Twitter to her telling her, like, hey, you know what? You got my support. Like, she gives a shit. But you got my support. The only thing that I would ask is that she take a couple of acting lessons, kind of like Will Smith did when he took on the role of the Fresh Prince, just so that she can reach that pinnacle and she can be really, really awesome on the show, and it could last a few more seasons and maybe turn that show around, make Batwoman a good show. Now, I'll tell you somebody who wouldn't take acting lessons simply because of the fact that she is too engulfed in herself and how other people make her feel. And that is Ruby Rose. And this is not to go against Ruby Rose at all. Let me just get that out of the way. This is not, no, I don't know Ruby Rose. I'm sure she's an excellent person in real life. And if she isn't, then she isn't. I mean, it's never going to harm me. And I'm never going to harm her with the things that I say. So, this is really about her. Just a critical eye from a guy who, has only 50 followers on Twitter. So who gives a shit, right? It's just having a little fun talking about some of the things and some of the things that we see. But anywho, here we go. Ruby Rose surprise exit from the CW series Batwoman stemmed from an ill fit between star and production. According to multiple sources, Rose was unhappy with the long hours required of her as the series lead, which led to friction on the set. So you see, this is what happens. So right off the bat, what we could tell by this is that they're starting to put the blame on her, saying, hey, look, she was unhappy because she had to work. She had to work, so she was unhappy. And, that led to, people on the set feeling a little uncomfortable because, they had to work too. And so this is Warner Brothers' way of starting to shift that blame a little bit from, just in case she comes out and says something about this. It was thus decided by her and the network and studio, Warner Brothers Television, that they would part ways. So there you go. That is confirmation right then and there that it wasn't just Ruby Rose who decided that she couldn't continue on as Batwoman. It was a mutual decision. And this is Warner Brothers Television going through Variety telling you that this was a mutual decision between the three of them because they were unhappy with her. So you see, here's the thing. In order for you to get out of a contract, the person that you signed the contract with also has to agree that you should be let out of the contract. That means essentially that that person wants you gone. And that's exactly what happened here. Rose's time on Batwoman marked the first TV starring role of her career. She had previously starred in Orange is the New Black and has appeared in supporting roles in several films to date. And she has. Actually, one of my favorite roles for her was in John Wick, where, and I made a joke about this before, she was silent through the whole thing, but I loved her presence in that movie. Given the sudden nature of it, speculation has been rampant as the reason for Rose's exit from the series. It was speculated that it had something to do with pain associated with an emergency surgery Rose underwent for 2 herniated discs. Well, here's the thing. Oh, and then this got shot down, but a source familiar with the situation tells Variety that Rose's decision had nothing to do with her health or injury. And I can automatically just ixnay that. Because if it was due to an injury, if these herniated discs were really affecting her in that kind of way, then what Warner Brothers would have done really, really easily was they would have scripted it so that any sort of action films or anything like any sort of action scenes, she would just get done by a stunt double, and she wouldn't have to herself physically do that if that was the pain. And they would say, listen, we are not going to let you out of your contract, but what we're willing to do is accommodate you in order for you to, feel more comfortable on set. That's what they would have done had she been a person that they wanted to continue to work with. And that didn't happen. So we know that really had nothing to do with that. So, they keep saying Rose's decision. Well, it's not really Rose's decision. It was really Warner Brothers' decisions to let her out of that contract, or they would have sued the living crap out of her, right? Or, they would have figured out some way to keep her ass there. Because all these companies, can you imagine if an actor got fired off of a film, how quickly they would be blacklisted by all the other studios? It's just like that. There's no way that Rose leaves the show, quits the show, and her agent would be like, are you crazy? Are you insane? There's no way. Batwoman, okay, Rose has been open about her, see, and then this is what they do here too, and this was brought up again by that other gentleman whose video is it's going to be linked below. They throw little jabs, right? They throw little jabs at them. Rose has always also been open about her mental health issues in the past, so they're trying to put this in your brain that she's a little bit cuckoo, she's a little bit off the rocker, right? Which is why Warner Brothers had to get rid of her. That's exactly what they're doing right there. And it's very transparent. If you really look at it, it's super transparent. In a statement issued announcing Rose's departure to the studio network, and Berlanti Productions said they will be seeking a new lead actress and member of the LGBTQ community in the coming months. I also said in the previous video that this idea that the person who plays Batwoman needs to be a lesbian is insane. They need to find the best person for this job. Now, me personally, I threw my hat on Sonya Deville from WWE because of the fact that I know physically she can do it. She can handle the role. She looks tough. She looks like she could kick some ass. Whereas Ruby Rose never really did. You know what I'm saying here? And I also know that with maybe a little bit of training, Sonya Deville could really become a great actress. She's already working in an acting capacity in WWE. She's not the best. Okay? So don't comment on how she sucks or anything like that. She's not the best, but she definitely can get there. Now, there are other actresses right now that are there already. And yet they won't be considered for these roles. And it's kind of sad to me that they won't be considered for these roles just because of their sexuality. And that's kind of like, isn't that what we're trying to, get away from, is these ideas that you're hiring people strictly for their race, or we're hiring them strictly for their sexuality or their political views? I mean, aren't we trying to move past that? You know, Gina Carano is an actress now. She looks tough. We saw her in The Mandalorian. But they won't consider her because she's not a lesbian. I think that's unfair. So it's kind of like we're in this weird catch-22 here, where we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at the fact that it's just not right. And the fact that they can so easily say this out loud and get no type of backlash from anybody. I mean, I don't know. Whatever, you know? It's just that you can't say that you want to get away from something, you know, which is this idea that we hire based on attributes that have nothing to do with the job. And it goes both ways, but I guess it doesn't, you know. And there's going to be a lot of people that say, well, you know, lesbian, gay, and bisexual, and transgender, and queer people have been discriminated against forever and stuff, and that's true. And it continues to this very day. There's tons of discriminations. There's tons of racial discrimination. I get discriminated against because of my, you know, my personal political beliefs. I get discriminated against because of my nationality, my race, all of it. I get discriminated against. I get discriminated against because I'm bald, you know? And so it's something that we definitely deal with. But, you know, I just don't feel comfortable with this idea that it's okay to just do it, you know? I don't know. You know, leave a comment down below. You know, give me a reason why you think it's totally cool, you know? Be respectful, and, you know, let's have a conversation about it down in the comment section below. But anywho, well, when it comes to Ruby Rose herself, I think that we can put this to bed. We can actually say that I was right. That's what they're doing right now. They are leaking it online, and they are saying that I am correct. They fired her. They got rid of her, and she wasn't too sad about it. Yeah, so there we go. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video content. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you on the other side. Bye.